I always wanted my mother to be there close by because your mother takes care of you. She tells you
Mm.
what to expect, and if you're getting, after birth blues, or you're having, physical issues of, this, and when your milk comes in, all those things that it's your first time. It's like with you, Jacob, I had all this. You did not want to eat, brother, and it was
I figured that
painful.
one out.
So my mother, yeah, so my mother had to help me. She had, she
Mm.
would put ice packs on me, and how, that who does that but your mother, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. Today we have a guest, Cristina Valdez, otherwise known as Mom to Jacob and me. Mom, how are
Mm.
you?
I'm good.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Thank you.
Thank you for being our mother, not deciding to change course with us when we acted like fools in our day. Um, so today we are going to review a movie that's related to not Mother's Day per se, but mothers. And the
Yes.
movie is Philomena. Philomena is a true story about a woman named Philomena Lee, who, as a young lady, met a gentleman at the fair. And we know that they really liked each other as they met because 9 months later, she was with child. However, the young man was not there. He was gone. So that would be a unique challenge as it is. That presents itself as a challenge. But what makes it more challenging is that she is a devout Catholic. That's interesting. And she's also, I guess she was sent by her priest to a convent because this is a serious matter for Catholics. And I believe any Christian, anybody who professes to be a Christian, this is a serious matter uh, to have a child out of wedlock. And she delivers, and the Catholic, you know, the nuns sent the baby away. Just goodbye. She doesn't even get a chance to say goodbye. It's very devastating, this scene where she gets separated by, I think he was about 3 or 4 when she, maybe a little younger, when she gets separated. The nuns basically send the child away. She spends the next many years, 50 years of her life or more, looking for this child, this baby. And you have to start in discussing the film. I really liked it. I'll say this. It's very, very good. And you have to start with Judi Dench. Her performance feels so real. And I do want to ask you next month how you feel about the movie, but I just want to mention a couple of things on why I liked it before I turn it over to you. Of course, the performance of Judi Dench, you don't feel like it's an actress. You feel like they plucked this woman out of Ireland and they just, you know, said, perform or be this woman who is just sort of like an everyday type of woman, blue collar. Um, and let's talk about Steve Coogan, who plays the reporter, the investigative journalist who tracks down her son, who now lives in the United States. I don't want to give too much away, but I will say this, as serious as this film is, and it is, and you really get the sense from Judi Dench of who this woman is and her devastation at losing her son and her obsession to find out, is he okay? Is he a happy person? All these things that a mother probably deals with in everyday life over their children and thinking about their children, but not knowing, her not knowing, feeling the guilt of losing her child. There is a moment though of humor for me. I just couldn't stop laughing where the Steve Coogan character, Martin Sixsmith, I think is his real name. They find out that maybe her son might be gay, and then a friend, a friend of his had said, yeah, he was gay, and she says, were you his girlfriend? Did he have children? And the look on Steve Coogan's face, I mean, you know he's a comedian, right? It was so subtle but so funny as he says, um, Philomena, he was gay. I couldn't stop. I had to stop because it was so subtle, but it was so funny. His performance is excellent. And before I turn it over to you, I think that those who watch this movie will be horrified by some of the elements. If you're a Catholic, you might feel like this is a devastating thing that the Catholic Church did, and some might even feel this is very anti-Catholic. The Catholic Church might have had their reasons of doing this, of sending this kid off, and to be so. And I don't want to give too much away, but you also feel like it's kind of pro-Catholic in the sense that this woman is a true Christian. Philomena is
Mm.
never bitter. She just wants to know how her son is doing. And she has forgiveness in her heart. And boy, what a testimony to the atheist in the room, which is the investigative journalist, Martin Sixsmith. And it's really powerful. I understand why people might not appreciate it if you're Catholic. I get it. But I also can appreciate this very strong Catholic woman. What are your thoughts, Mom?
Well, there's so much, Ruben. It I feel that it would have probably been more um, better for her. I can't think of the word. Better for her if they would have taken that baby at birth, right at birth, and taken that baby. They were going to do it. I mean, that's horrible that they did, but to let her see that baby grow till he's 2 or 3 years old and fall in love with him and embrace him and want all the things that mothers want for their children, I think was horrendous that they did that. And then going back to even the childbirth, that this baby was breached, that would have killed her. And then there was this one nun who went and turned the baby and delivered the baby. Even it seemed like he was feet first,
Yeah, I think
and
so.
so all of that was just so sad and so hurtful. Being a mother and knowing what women go through and the pain of childbirth, and then thinking that she was, going to die because you die in childbirth. If that baby's breached and can't come out, the baby dies. You do, and there's just you need that surgery, and they probably weren't able to do any of that. So that was very difficult. And then taking him at that age was very, very painful to see.
So,
Um,
so your charge with the decision is you did it, you should have done it sooner. And that exacerbated the pain for Philomena. Whereas, you know what? You might have had your philosophy of this child needs a home that's a typical home, mother, father. And we understand maybe that philosophy. We get it. I'm not excusing it. Oh boy, don't send me nasty emails. But you're understanding maybe this philosophy, but you're saying do it sooner.
I think I kind of wanted to place myself in that position, and knowing how I have fallen in love with my children at what ages when they start, sitting up and baby talking and walking and all that, your heart is just so full of your child, and then to have that ripped out of your arms that way was just so painful to watch that happen. And then, the nuns being so unkind, really, to her. It took me back to when I went to elementary school, and my first grade nun was so brutal to this 6-year-old child, and would spank me because I didn't speak English. And so you think, ay, ay, ay.
So I have heard you talk about that, but you've also mentioned some nuns that were kind to you, correct?
Yes, and then I went to my mother placed me in a different school, another, well, this second school was all girls, and they were wonderful. The nuns were wonderful. And I went back to that first school where the nun wasn't unkind to me, and there was some very good, so it's not the
Yeah.
nun. It's, there's some bad in everything.
Yeah, and the reason we say this because it's a teaching channel, and it would be as if we said, I sent my kid to a school, and the teachers were bad, so I pulled them out of school. Like you're not saying all teachers are bad or all
No,
nuns are
no.
bad. You had a particular nun or a couple of nuns that didn't serve you well. So, what
So
did your go on?
I was just gonna say, so I experienced that unkindness, and at 6 years old, I felt it deep because
Right,
my cousin was in the class with me, and she didn't speak English, and she was not spanked.
interesting.
So that was very painful for me. But like I say, it's not everybody. It's just certain people, in all walks of life. There's good and there's bad in everything.
Now, you haven't said how you felt about the movie in general. What are your feelings about the movie?
Well, I love the movie also, Ruben. I love that. Well, I'm gonna go back to when she found out that her son was gay, and she said she always knew it. That made me laugh out loud because I think she said that um, to relate to him. That was an avenue to want to relate to who he was. She wanted that connection so deeply that she said that because that little boy was so connected to that little girl as they were growing up, and she ended up being his sister because they were both adopted. And so for her to say that was kind of funny to me because I think she was just saying it to connect to him. That happened. But yes, I love the movie. I love another thing that was kind of concerning to me was that when they met the sister, she never asked about her mother because she was Philomena's friend, like best friend in the convent. It didn't. I feel like should have gone and at least ask questions. But he said that the investigator said, wasn't it curious that she didn't ask about her mother? So they did address it. So, but that was it. That was all they did to address that part of
It
it.
it is a weird thought. I mean, this sister um is seemed a little hard, but she stated, right, Jacob, she stated that they were both raised this adoptive father by a really hard, kind of a cold guy.
Mhm.
What do you think, Jake? Did you enjoy the movie? Did you get some of the same impressions we
No,
got?
I'm glad listening to both of you. This is the second time I watched this film. The first time when it came out, and I want to be honest with you, I did not want to see it again because I remember thinking this was a tough film. When I first saw it, I go, "This was not. Why did Ruben pick this? Why didn't we just watch Mother? The Albert Brooks movie, comedy, ha ha ha." But I sat down and I watched it again. I cried, and Kimberly was like, "What are you doing?" I was crying like 3 or 4 times. I know it's kind of
It's
surprises
heart
you.
wrenching.
Oh my
Yes.
God. And then there's this one scene that there's just so much to talk about, but I will say, Ruben, that I did enjoy it. But there's this couple of these lines that just get to your gut. One point, and just the way she handles it. He's the more intelligent one, the more sophisticated one, and she's teaching him throughout the whole. They're developing a
Yes.
mother-son relationship in a way, right? And she's like teaching him things like how to respond to people and how to talk and telling him, hey, that wasn't nice, in her way, of course. But she says something to him because she finds out, like, wait, I'm never really gonna connect to he's dead and so forth. And then she was, I just like to know if Anthony ever thought of me. Because I've thought of him every day. And so I thought, wow, 50 years, never saw him. And she just wanted to know he was okay. And I think moms, we're having Mother's Day, and I'm thinking, wow, moms are special. I was telling my students the other day, it's funny. Mother's Day, it's so hard to get a restaurant reservation. Father's Day, not too tough. you know it's not too tough, and not all people have tough fathers, but for some reason mothers are there to nurture you and love you. And you see this in this woman. She was just, that was taken away from her. God, thank God she had other children, at least one other daughter.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
that was great for her, and she could see that there was that mother-daughter relationship. But her mother never told her I mean, Philomena never told her daughter that she had a son. And
Yeah.
so to keep that inside you for 50 years, not to share it with your daughter. And as I know, we all know, mom and her daughter are very close. And a lot of times, mother and daughters have that special relationship. And so to see that relationship, her just yearning to have that with him, just to find out anything. And another real quick thing is there's a scene where he says, they figured out that, wow, the reporter and the son had met at the Reagan White House, because the son worked at Reagan and the Bush White House, the first Bush. And he goes, and then it occurred to him, oh my God, I did meet him. And there's times you just like, oh, whoa, oh yeah. And that just kind of, and she was just dying. Any nitpick, what did he say? Like, well, hello, and to her, that was like, wow. And I could really believe it. And Ruben, you mentioned that they could have, this felt like she could have been plucked out of Ireland, and just brought onto the screen. So true. So true, because she was great. Judi Dench, I just love her acting. And of course, Coogan, right? The actor who played Martin Sixsmith. I really enjoyed the film. Again, I just got emotional, and I don't want to spoil the ending, but this is definitely a film that our audience should watch. And I was trying to think, Ruben, what it has to do with educating. But I just think it's Mother's Day, and sometimes, teachers have mothers. I was just talking to a teacher the other day. Some of our students don't even understand that we have lives. Like I'll mention, like they'll see me at a supermarket and they'll go, "Mister, what are you doing here?" I go, "I'm buying groceries." They're like, "What?"
I've heard you say that before, and
Yeah.
I don't know who your students are.
Oh
Where they
no, I've
where they
talked
look
to
at
other teachers and they
where
say the
they look
same
at
thing.
where they look at you like you're an alien. I ran into
Yes,
students in
I'm
my
not the only one. Other
I ran
teachers
into
respond to
students in
this
my
because
I ran into students in my supermarket, and they're like, "I'm a straggler." Hey,
not
oh,
me.
I
I
don't know
want
They
to
who
probably
talk
your
look at me
about.
students
like a
are.
god, Mom. The students probably look at me like a god, and I've been just like an everyday man.
I want to
You're
talk
at,
about the gift. The gift
you're
that.
at the Ralphs?
Jeez.
What?
All
You
right,
eat food?
pretty
I've never
close, pretty
I've
close.
never had that interaction and I met many students through
It's
the years.
tough being
Hey,
me.
um,
I
uh,
want to talk about the
anything
gift,
else?
the little gift that he gave her,
Oh,
because she wanted. You're right, Jacob. You brought up that she wanted to know if he ever thought of her. Did you notice the gift he gave her on his lapel?
that
He
was
had a
great.
symbol,
It was
an
like an
Irish
Irish symbol,
symbol,
right? Yeah.
an
Well,
Irish symbol on his lapel, meaning that he thought about his past. He wondered about his past, and that was an amazing gift for her. She was hungry to know if he ever thought about her, if there was ever any connection there. So that was wonderful, and that he wanted to be buried there in
you're
Ireland.
I was
All
gonna
those things.
say, we pretty much gave up the whole movie, but that's
Oh, okay.
okay. I was hoping we didn't go to the Reagan thing and then but you know what? It has been out for 10 years.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's true.
but it is worth watching. And
Even
this
if you've watched it before, watch it again
well, or if you've never seen it, certainly go. But the
for sure.
thing about the Celtic shield or the guard on that's a great little scene, and that's the first moment. Really, I liked it too, Mom, where you sense, oh, this guy is thinking about his mother. He is thinking, and he's thinking about Ireland and wanting. And of course, we're not just products of our environment. We also have genetics that you know communicate who we are. It's not all about how we're raised, although some of it is. But anything else about the movie that you want to bring up before we sign off? And I'm glad we all liked it. It looks like we all three of us.
Yes, yes. But I
We
just
can.
want to,
I do want to say we can agree that it was better. This movie is better than last year's, the book club.
yeah, oh my goodness.
All right.
Yes,
That
sir.
was a
Yes,
winner.
sir. But Ruben, you
Yes.
touched on it, and I just want to agree about her forgiveness. How hard, and you could see where she's struggling to forgive. What a good actress. What a
She
wonderful
even
actress.
tells him it's hard because even they
Yes,
go,
she
"How can you do?"
told
He's
him
like,
it's
"It's not easy. It's
hard.
hard."
It
Yeah,
doesn't just come easy. She had to work at it. But what a godly act of forgiveness that she gave those nuns.
for sure, for sure.
That was wonderful. I love the movie, and I too recommend for everyone to see it.
Right. And then I think for me, Ruben, last thing is that I was thinking about mom throughout that. At the end, I go, oh man, it's just we're so lucky to have mom, and to have that relationship with her. And some people don't have moms, and even watching this film, I just felt so like gratitude, gratefulness for our mother, that she loved us even when we done unlovely things, and I know I've done just a couple,
I can
and
think
still
of a
love
lot
us.
worser things
Hey,
to be happening. So you guys were wonderful.
well,
My children are wonderful.
excellent. Yeah, so I guess this is a great opportunity to say thank you, Mom. This film was just another reminder to give thanks to those people who have
Thank you.
had an influence. So appreciate it. Really do, Mom.
Yes, thank you, Mother. I really appreciate you on Mother's Day
Mm.
every day. We've had some deep discussions lately too. You and I have had some
Yes,
talk.
we have. And I've been thinking about more questions I have for you.
Wow.
So we'll talk some more.
Good,
We've
yes.
had a couple superficial, but I still love you.
Wow.
Stop it.
It's you, Jake. That's what we
Like the weather, it looks like we're gonna have rain, Mom, and yeah. But
No,
anyway,
no. We've been talking about Lilo.
Lilo, yes. Ruben's
And
gonna
I
get
went and I
involved.
bought Lilo some gifts yesterday.
Oh,
So
Our dog, the dog.
Very, very nice. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Happy Mother's Day, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
bye-bye.
Bye.